Students, yesterday we have seen 2 points. First was electric flux, its definition and mathematical formula, and Gauss theorem or Gauss law. So today we are going to see 2 points, that is applications of Gauss law. Basically there are four applications of Gauss theorem or Gauss law, but today we'll be covering two applications. Okay, so before I could start the today's lecture, I want to explain one more time or revise what is Gauss law. So Gauss law is nothing but the electric flux, total electric flux passing through any closed surface is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times of the total charge enclosed in that surface. Okay, and one more thing we have learned yesterday, Gauss law is always applicable for only Gaussian surface or closed surface. Gauss law is not applicable for the open surface. Okay, so we'll start our today's first point, that is the first application, the electric field due to infinitely long charged wire. So concentrate here now. We are going to start our first point, electric field due to infinitely long charged wire. For that purpose, consider this is infinitely long charged wire. You can see here, this is the wire, is having positive charge. The length of the wire is L. You can see here. So this is the wire which is having positive charge and length L. Okay. So in order to find the electric field intensity due to this long uniformly charged wire, infinitely long uniform charged wire, so we have to consider any point P. This is any point P at distance R from the wire. Okay, means we are in simple way we can say we are going to find, or we have to find, the electric field intensity at distance R from this wire. Means what amount of electric field intensity is produced due to this charged wire, charged long, infinitely long wire at point P. Okay, for that purpose we have to consider any point P. Here we can see any point P at distance R. Okay, now as we know, we cannot apply Gauss theorem for the open surface, so consider closed surface now. Okay, so here we have considered the Gaussian loop. This is the Gaussian loop. We can see closed surface around the long wire at distance R, that is R is the radius, R is the radius of this loop. Clear? So in that we have to consider three different surface areas. One, ds1 at the axis, ds2 at one end of the surface, and ds3 at another end of the surface. So in order to find, we have to consider once again three different surfaces, ds1, ds2 and ds3. Got it? Now, but as we know, electric field produced due to this all positive charge is radially outward, means the direction of electric field is radially outward, means anywhere if you consider, the direction of electric field is always away from this wire. Anywhere you calculate, just it will come away from the wire. Okay. Now most important thing now, or as we have considered three different surfaces, ds1, ds2 and ds3. Okay, here E indicate the direction of electric field at ds2, and ds2, this line indicate the normal component. So if you see here, electric field E and normal component both are perpendicular to each other. So theta for ds2 is 90. Similarly, for ds3, if you consider, this is E, electric field, and this is the normal component of ds3. So again theta will be 90 for ds3. But if you consider the surface ds1, so here ds1, the electric field in this direction as well as normal component is also in this direction. So here theta is 0. Got it? So according to this, all this consideration, again we can say here for Gaussian surface ds1, the theta is 0, that is electric field intensity. Here electric field intensity and normal component of ds1 are parallel to each other, that's why theta is 0. Okay, but if you see here at ds2, electric field intensity and normal component, electric field intensity, and this is electric field intensity and this is normal component, both are perpendicular to each other, that's why theta is 90. And for third case, theta is 90 because again E and normal component both are perpendicular to each other. So according to Gauss law, we know that phi E, according to electric flux, according to definition of electric flux produced at each surface we have to calculate. So basic definition of electric flux is phi E is equal to line integral of E ds cos theta. So we have to apply this formula for all three surfaces. So further we will extend, we can write phi E is equal to line integral of E ds1 cos theta, line integral of E ds2 cos theta plus line integral of E ds3 cos theta. Here it is 3, make it 3. Okay, E ds3 cos theta. But we know that for surface ds1, here the cos theta will be 1 because theta is 0. Here at surface ds2, cos theta will be 90, okay, so cos 90 will be 0, so this term will eliminate 0. Similarly at ds3, here cos 90 is again 0 because angle is again 90, so this will also 0. So we have only one term, so total electric flux due to long or infinitely long charged wire is given by only this E ds cos theta. So here again theta is 0 as they are parallel here, so cos 0 is 1, so we can write only E ds1 because remaining two terms becomes 0. This also becomes 0 and this also becomes 0. So the total electric flux is given by E ds1, this surface area only. Okay, so according to definition, we got the electric flux produced by this surface area ds1. Okay, now E, take it outside, so the formula will come E line integral of ds1. But again ds1 we know that area of curved surface, and area of curved surface is 2 pi RL. Okay, so use this equation in this, so we got E into 2 pi RL. Okay, but again we know that phi E, the Gauss law, okay, is always equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times of the total charge, 1 upon epsilon 0 times of the total charge. But again the definition of linear density, lambda is equal to charge per unit length, so the value of charge from this equation will be lambda into length. So from this equation, this value of Q will put at this point, so the equation will come phi E, this equation will come phi E is equal to, instead of Q we have to write lambda L, so lambda L divided by this epsilon naught as it is. So we got here equation phi E is equal to lambda L upon epsilon naught. But from equation 1 and 2, okay, from equation this 1 and 2 we can write this, both the RHS are equivalent as LHS is same, so we can write lambda L upon epsilon naught is equal to E 2 pi R into L. So here L will get cancelled. Okay, so next step, so here L will get cancel, we can see So E is equal to, here L will get cancelled, so E is equal to 1 upon, so if you calculate the value of E, so E is equal to 1 upon 2 pi epsilon naught lambda upon R. So multiply by 2 in order to get in the desired form. So it will come E is equal to 1 upon 4 by epsilon naught 2 lambda upon R. So from this equation it is very clear that 1 upon 4 by epsilon naught and radius is constant, 2 is also constant, right? E is inversely proportional to R. That is, as we increase the distance from the surface or from the charged infinitely charged long wire, the electric field will decrease. Okay, so this is the expression for our first application, that is electric field due to infinitely long charged wire.